Cruise news time. Well, I've got a story of a couple struggling to get their pre-cruise test. They cruised today. What happened? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, yeah, I took the day off yesterday. I took the day off with the great intention of doing something with my wife. She decided to take the day off too. She said, let's take the day off. Let's do something we haven't done in a long time. Let's go to the casino. And I'm like, I don't really want to go to the casino up there in Tampa. They don't have a craps table. And she's like, no, let's go to the casino boat. The Victory Casino in Port Canaveral. We've never been there. They got a craps table. We can hang out, have a nice lunch, go on the casino boat. And I went, all right, I could skip a day. And the wild thing, and I'll say it right here, I don't skip shows very often. And every time I do, it reminds me that I love doing this. I love this job. I love being a part of your daily routine. I missed doing the show yesterday, and that's the way I felt even before yesterday turned into an interesting day. It's all going to tie into the story about cruise testing. So this isn't just story time for story time's sake, but let me tell you about the day yesterday. First and foremost, the alarm went off at 6 a.m. I don't really get up at 6 a.m. I stay up late and then I get up later. That's my cycle. That's my circadian rhythm, as it were. I like to wake up on my own, and 6 a.m. is not it. I was full on in a dream. You ever wake up full on in a dream? The alarm woke me up. And so I got Jenny up. She started getting ready. I went out and got us some coffee. And when we came back, the coffee was horrible. It was not made right, and that was sign number one that maybe this was going to be a challenging day. So we got on the road. We had to be over in Port Canaveral by 10 o'clock so that we could be on the ship when it left at 11. It's a legit cruise. It leaves out of Port Canaveral, goes out to international waters. You can gamble. And so, yeah, we get to the next spot to get coffee, and we throw away our yucky coffee, and we get another round of coffee, and it wasn't good either. It was sign number two. Sign number two. So we shake it off. Woo, we're still going out together. We're still doing something we enjoy. This is exciting. And about 20 miles before we get to the actual casino, a light comes on the car. Now, we drive a Chevy Equinox that we've had since 2011. I believe it's a 2012. So this thing's like 10 years old, 179,000 miles. We put a new engine on it. But my favorite feature of the body and the interior, beautiful. My favorite feature of the car is the no car payment. And so we made a commitment a while ago when we were going to be YouTubers that we would not, we would reduce as many bills as possible, and we're just not into the car payments. But that does mean you got to keep a little money on hand to fix the car. And sometimes the car breaks down. You hope it breaks down near your house. But 20 miles away from Port Canaveral, the light comes on that basically says, your charging system for your battery is no longer working, which means the alternator is broken on your car. And so I look it up, and in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, the car will keep running as long as we have battery power. I think we can either A, make it to a mechanic, or B, we can go on to the casino, and then we can gamble, and then we can deal with it afterwards. Another part of having an old car, we also have AAA, so we got roadside assistance, and we got towing, and we got all that stuff. And so I don't know, like Jenny and I were pretty good at enabling each other to do the wrong thing, and we had the conversation, and we decided to go to the casino. How about that? Couple degenerate gamblers. So we go to the casino, and the car gets there fine. We go to where the guy is telling us where to park. We roll down the window, and he tells us where to park, and the window won't roll back up. So we know that the car is having trouble. We park under a shade tree, and we try to restart the car, and it's dead. And so now we're outside the casino. We can see the casino ship, and we're still having that conversation. Should we deal with this now? It's about 10 o'clock. Should we deal with this now, or should we wait until we get back at 4 o'clock? Still go have some fun. We drove all the way across the state. What should we do? And well, we decided to go on the ship. Victory Casino, very nice. The terminal, the check-in process, we checked in, we went on to the cruise ship, we went and got our player's card, and we're sitting there, and it's about 30 minutes before the ship is going to leave out to sea, and then it really kicks in, the adult aspect of it. It's Friday afternoon. Can anybody work on this car? Are we going to stay at a hotel? Neither one of us brought our computers. We really can't work. What are we going to do? Should we get off this? we got off the ship. We didn't stay and gamble. It looks nice. I can't wait to actually try it. It looks like a very nice casino. It's smoke free, which I'm digging. And the craps tables, they got a new light up crap table, which if you've never experienced that, it's really cool. And but we decided it would make more sense to go and work on the car. And I guess I got to throw this in there because I know hearing casino is going to throw a few people off. If us going to the casino on our day off bothers you, substitute something else. Let's say we were going to Disney World for the day, because I'm assuming Disney World would probably cost the same amount of money of what we budgeted to entertain ourselves with at the casino. Just remember, people spend their money in different ways, and we wouldn't be spending any more money than if we'd gone to a theme park or something like that. So don't let the casino hang you up. It's just what we like to do, and that's the beautiful thing about the world. Everybody can do what they like to do. Okay, here we go. We get off the casino boat. So we've never had to use our AAA. It's not even AAA. It's another brand like Allstate, and we went through this process. Do we take it to a mechanic locally and stay the night and hopefully they can fix it over the weekend? Again, we don't have any of our stuff to work with. Or do we see if somebody will tow it across the state? How about that? That's kind of crazy. And, we called the person that works on our car, which is Jenny's uncle, and he's like, yeah, tow it back over here. Somebody will do that. So we called the AAA type people, and they're like, yeah, we'll tow it across the state, but it's going to blow your coverage. It's going to cost some more money. It's going to cost you extra $250. It's like, all right, well, we do have a little emergency fund for car issues, $250, at least we can get it back to Jenny's uncle. So we wait about an hour, the tow truck shows up, we get the thing loaded, but then we're still stuck on like, how are we going to get back across the state? So I pull up Uber, $266 to Uber across the state. That makes sense. Those guys have to make money. Or I have to figure out how to get a one-way car rental. So we've been using Enterprise for a while because we had a challenge with budget, and all the enterprises that I called around there were like, no, we will not do a one-way rental across the state. So sad. And so finally I pulled up the Expedia app. I use the Expedia app to book a lot of stuff. I said, okay, maybe they can find me a car. They found me a one-way rental at a budget office 2 miles away. So that was good. We called an Uber. We took an Uber over to the budget office. And as soon as I walked into the budget office, they're like, hey, we don't have your reservation. I said, yeah, I did it on Expedia. And they're like, yeah, that's not reliable. That we never have the cars that they say that we're going to have. And so I had reserved a big standard car. And they're like, we got 2 pickup trucks. Do you want a pickup truck? And I'm like, if that's all I can do, I got to get back across the state. And so the lady, she's got like both of the clickers, and in the parking lot is a white Jeep. And I joked with Jenny as we were getting out of the Uber, Jenny, we're gonna get that white Jeep. And she was like, I will hurt you. And I'm like, okay. So we're over there with the lady pushing the buttons to see which one of the cars that that these clickers went to, and one of them was that Jeep. And for a brief moment, I thought, wow, wouldn't that be YouTube gold if I got that Jeep? But I could not do that. We picked the pickup truck, which is a whole different thing. So we rent the pickup truck, $325. So $250 for the tow truck, $325 for the rental, but we can get back across the state. So the car gets back across the state. We get back across the state. I make sure I tip the driver really well. So all in all, I'm in close to $700. So yeah, we lost money gambling yesterday and never placed a bet. But again, this is the experience with the older car with the no car note, and still we're probably gonna have to get our alternator fixed. I don't know how much that's gonna cost, but even if all in it costs $1,500 or $2,000, that's still like only 3 months of car payments. So I feel good about that. And while our story has a happy ending, unbeknownst to us at the time, there was another couple that was going through some pretty stressful times regarding pre-cruise testing. I'm going to tell you all about it and how our trip tied into that a little bit. But first, let me invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. It doesn't cost anything. It helps us out. Help us get to 120,000 subscribers. Please, please, please. Thank you in advance. Jenny has a client that's going on a cruise today out of Fort Lauderdale. well. On Wednesday, they went to like a CVS, Walgreens to get their COVID test. Now, we've talked about this a lot. We're in that era now in the cruise restart where everybody has to get a pre-cruise test for the most part, and almost every cruise line is putting that onto the passenger, not giving tests at the cruise port, but requiring you to show up with a negative test. It's caused some trouble. We've seen some people in the news that have missed their cruise because they could not get a test result. We've had the conversation whether it's free, whether it's not free, but either way, this couple engaged CVS, Walgreens type deal. They went on Wednesday and got their test, and as of last night, we got back from our adventure, and then these people were full on in their adventure, saying, look, we took the test on Wednesday. My husband got his result. I have not got my result. What should I do? Should I just show up at the cruise port and tell them that? And of course, you know what our answer was to that? No, you cannot show up at the cruise port without your test results. This is the one thing. A lot of people said I was being harsh on the people that got turned away. The point that I was trying to make is that the cruise line, they're holding tight to these protocols. They don't care. That what they care about is keeping the protocols. They're not bending the rules for anybody. That's the message I want you to hear. They're not bending the rules. Is it right? Is it wrong? Are there people that are challenged to use the internet or make sure that they're checking their... None of that matters. What you need to take away is that just because in your mind you think the cruise line should bend the rules for you, they're not going to. So let's deal with what the is. If you don't have your test result in hand before you show up at embarkation day, you're going to have a hard time. That's what we relayed to these folks on the phone. And Jenny relayed some resources, places where you could go and pay for a test. And so we got a call back this morning. The lady found a test at the Fort Lauderdale airport that would give her results within a half hour. Cost her $59. She went to the Fort Lauderdale airport. She got a test. She got her results. She paid $59. She has her negative test along with her husband. They're able to board their cruise ship today. That's the big nugget out of all of this. While we're all struggling to get our test in line and we're hoping to get that done for free, at some point you may have to bite the bullet and pay money. I'm about 14 days until I cruise to Alaska, and I'm going to need a test 3 days before that cruise. I'll go through the route of trying to get the one from the pharmacies that may not cost me anything, but in my mind, if I don't get that result on the first day or the second day, I'm going to have to pay and get a test result because the cruise lines are not going to bend on having that test when you show up. That's the message. Now, swinging it back around to the story time, while we were in the broken car trying to make our way to the Victory Casino, we had to pass the terminal where the Mariner of the Seas was in Port Canaveral, and we got behind a car that was a mobile COVID testing unit. And I hate that I only got this picture of the back of the car. Again, we were going through some turmoil at the time, and but the side of the car looked like an ice cream man's side of the car. It had all the stuff listed out and how quickly you would get your test results. So you could get a PCR like within an hour or two. I think you could get the antigen in 15 minutes. I wish I could have seen the side of this. But all that to say, there are more options coming for cruisers, and you might want to start thinking, like, if you want to guarantee for sure that you have your test result, you're going to have to come out of pocket. Whether that's right, whether that's wrong, whether testing makes sense, whether any of the protocols make sense, none of that matters. If you're somebody who's paid money to go on a cruise, deal with what the is, and right now you got to make sure you have those results before you show up at the terminal if you plan to cruise. Boom, that's your cruise news. But let me kick the questions over to you. I'm curious, what adult decision would you have made? Would you have headed to the mechanic, or would you have headed to your plans, casino or theme park or whatever you had plans, and pushed off dealing with it till later? You've heard our story. And then what do you think about all of this pre-cruise testing? I know it's a huge pain in the butt. How are you dealing with it? Just canceling your cruise or jumping through these hoops? Leave a comment below. Thanks so much for checking out the show today. Please hit the like button, or I'm going to shave off your beard, revealing your COVID weight gain double chin. Holy moly. This is Tony with Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.